Hello, I'm Karma Kitaj. I'm your host for A Livelihood, and we're back on stage again after a month's absence. And today I'm going to introduce you to Ginger Burr of Total Image Consultants, and we're going to find out what she does and how she got involved in it.
Thank you, Karma.
Nice to have you here, Ginger.
Pleasure to be here.
So you and I talked a little bit about your background and how you got to be an image consultant.
Yes.
So I know that you said you grew up in a small town in central Massachusetts, and in those days and in that area of the state, you said that people weren't really into fashion and image so much, were they?
No. No, it's a little town called Feeding Hills, so that gives you some indication of how exciting it was fashion-wise. And it also was back, I'm dating myself, but back in the 70s, and we didn't have internet then. We didn't have a lot in terms of fashion magazines, and there certainly weren't any celebrity TV fashion shows, those kinds of things. So I just did what I could do by looking at the people around me, and it certainly was limited in terms of what was available, but I had an interest. I just didn't know how to express it.
Yeah. So do you feel, looking back, say as a teenager, did you dress differently from your peers, do you think?
Maybe a little, but at that time we all kind of dressed alike, and I went to a girls' school for high school, and we weren't even allowed to wear pants to school. We had to wear skirts, except I think I was a senior, and they let us wear pants in the winter because all of our knees were bright red from the freezing cold outside, so they let us wear pants that winter. But otherwise, it was very limited. There weren't the options that we have now. Skirts were short, and colors were bright, and it was not a very attractive time in fashion history, in my opinion.
You said your mother, you feel, had a good eye or an eye for color.
My mother has a great eye for color. She's a quilter and makes gorgeous quilts, and so she's really very good at putting things together in that way, and she enjoys it too, I think. So yeah, I think I got my sense of color from her. Yeah, I've studied color for a very long time. I've done color analysis on clients for 24 years, so I've really trained my eye. And color analysis has evolved over the years. When I started, and I know probably a lot of people watching will be familiar with this, but we were all done as a season. We were a winter or a summer, fall, spring. And so we were kind of pigeonholed into one of those four categories. And these days, things are done a little differently. I have over 2,000 colors. I hand pick palettes. So every single palette is individualized according to that person's hair and skin and eye color and personality and all of that. So color has come a long way, and we can be very, very, very specific as to what colors look good on somebody. And it makes a world of difference.
I'm just thinking that when we did speak about how you got involved with this, you said that you actually did some modeling as a young person, right?
Well, I went to modeling school. I wouldn't say I actually did modeling, but I was trying to figure out how to get involved in the fashion industry. And at the time, that was all that was available. It wasn't really what I wanted to do, but I thought, well, maybe this will be an entryway into seeing what the fashion world is like. And I actually hated it. And I thought that I was the oldest one in the class. I was all of 21. And I thought they treated some of the young women there very badly. I felt sorry for them. I mean, I felt like I could handle any of the negative criticism that they had towards me, but some of these young girls were so sensitive and their self-esteem was so compromised that it was just kind of a sad experience.
Right. So what was the next step for you?
The next step was to flounder for a while, for a few years, trying to figure out, well, how did I want to look. I moved from the Feeding Hills area to Cambridge. And so people in the area know that Cambridge is kind of earthy, crunchy. Yes, Cambridge, Massachusetts. It's a little earthy, crunchy, and it was even more so back in the 70s and 80s. And so I was just kind of following the lead of the people I was meeting there. I got involved in the folk movement, and I was dressing that way. My mother thought I was wearing my pajamas half the time because I was dressing in such a funky, low-key, artsy kind of way, which is not me, but I was exploring. And then one day, I was 29, one day I met a woman who was offering a 3-day seminar on what she called fashion, color, and image. And she's absolutely brilliant. And I went to that seminar, and that was it. I thought, okay, teach me everything you know. I'm not leaving. I'm going to follow you around forever until you teach me all of the things I need to know about color and about makeup and about style. And that's what she did. She was my mentor for quite a few years.
Can you remember what sort of things you may have learned from her, even in those first days that turned you on so much?
I can remember a lot. I remember that very specifically. I went to this 3-day seminar, and I walked in, and one of the women there who was assisting Navina said to me, "Oh, have you ever had your colors done?" And I said, "Oh, yes, I'm a winter." And she looked at me like, "Oh my goodness, you have so much to learn." And she was right. I was an autumn. When you went by the standard 4 seasons, I was an autumn, and I was horrified. It meant I had to wear olive green and orange and all these colors. I thought, I don't want to wear those colors. But I learned that they were the perfect colors for me. I learned about makeup. Again, as a redhead, I have very, very light blonde red eyebrows and eyelashes. My whole face kind of disappears when I don't have makeup on. And so I didn't wear any makeup then, because with even a little bit of makeup on me, it looks like a lot of makeup, and if it's the wrong colors, it looks really scary. So she taught me how to apply makeup and how to teach other women to apply makeup. And then she was absolutely brilliant in terms of style and how to balance a body and how to be slightly glamorous.
So what kind of women might come to you? Under what circumstances would they want to seek you out?
Most of them are just frustrated with their look. They look in their closet and they can't get dressed in the morning. Majority of my clients are over 40. Often they've just hit a milestone birthday of 40 or 50 or 60. Maybe they have empty nesters who now their focus isn't all on their children, so they're thinking, oh my goodness, now I get to focus on me and look at my closet and what I'm wearing out in the world, and this isn't me, what do I do? Some women are just tired with the economy. They're tired of wasting money on clothes that just sit in their closet unworn. So a lot of it is women over 40 who are just frustrated. A lot of them are in the business world, but not all of them. I have some women who are retired. And it's just women who want to feel good about how they look. One of the women I've worked with is Annie. And I've worked with Annie for a number of years, and she has really taken this information and run with it. And she's someone who, as you can see, her picture it's very basic. And when she's in the before picture that we have. And Annie is someone who is joyously unrestrained. She's dashingly unconventional.
So are these words
These
that
are
she
her
used?
words. She's a force to be reckoned with. And when you see her there's a white jacket that she wears a lot that has like little grommets on it. And it's got energy to it. It has that little bit of dashingly unconventional and a little bit of force to be reckoned with those grommets and that hardware that's on there. And it's really a way of expressing who she is. This shows Annie being joyously unrestrained. I mean, just, you can't keep Annie down. There's no way. She has this energy. And when you look at the before picture there, and if you see her dressed in just a basic, t-shirt and yoga pants or something, it doesn't express who she is. And when you get her into these clothes that really speak to her, her whole face lights up. She just has this incredible energy that gives people clues as to who she is, so that when she's out in the world, she's attracting in the energy and the people who she's meant to draw in.
I can see how you really individualize your work. The color palette and just the look and the shape of the clothing makes a huge difference.
So many women these days are dressing in things that are, often too big, sometimes too small. Particularly, this happens a lot with women who maybe are over 40 and their bodies are changing. and they don't know what to do with them. You know, maybe they knew how to dress themselves back in their 20s and 30s, and then all of a sudden, oh, things are shifting and moving, and weight is going up or down or whatever it's doing. And
or they might want to hide their bodies.
they might,
right?
they absolutely, a lot of women are trying to hide it and don't know how. And so they end up wearing these big shapeless things that do absolutely nothing for them. And that makes them feel even worse.
Well, this has been fascinating. I don't think I've ever talked to anyone who's an image consultant.
It's fun.
So
It really
I've gotten
is.
educated. Thank you for coming, Ginger.
Thank you, Karma, for having me. It's been a pleasure.